Welcome back to Movies on the Brain, where we crack the code on the best movies out there. I'm Jason, and today we're diving into the virtual world of Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Directed by Jim Stenstrom, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase takes the mystery-solving gang into a whole new dimension, literally. Featuring the voice talents of Scott Innes, Frank Welker, and Gray Delisle, this movie is a fun, fast-paced adventure that mixes technology and mystery. In Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, we get a unique twist on the classic formula as the gang faces off against a villain in the digital world. Let's jump into cyberspace and explore why this film continues to be a fan favorite. Now, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase wasn't released in theaters, it was direct-to-video, so I'm going to give you some information that I found on that. Now, I wasn't able to find the exact numbers on how many were sold, but Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase was the fourth Scooby-Doo movie released direct-to-video on October 9th, 2001, and was released March 29, 2011 on Blu-ray. And this was the first Scooby-Doo movie to be released on Blu-ray. Mystery Inc. visits their old friend and college student Eric, who has invited them to see a prize-winning computer game he made based on their adventures in a high-tech laser, both of which he intends to enter at a campus science fair. Upon arrival, the gang learns a phantom virus materialized from Eric's game and attacked him before his teacher, Professor Kaufman, drove it off with a high-powered magnet, and that it has been terrorizing the campus ever since. While investigating potential suspects, Eric, Kaufman, Bill, Eric's best friend and baseball-loving programmer, and grumpy campus security guard Officer Wembley, gang encounters the phantom virus before someone uses Eric's laser to beam them all into his game, where the gang learn that they must complete every level by finding a box of Scooby snacks to get out of the game. Following initial difficulties in the first three levels, the gang progresses quickly until they reach the final level, where they meet cyber versions of themselves. After escaping from the phantom virus, the cyber gang reveal that they know where to locate the final box of Scooby snacks and lead the original gang to an amusement park where they battle real versions of monsters that Mystery Inc. have previously faced and unmasked as human criminals. Eventually, Scooby-Doo's cyber double distracts the phantom virus so the original Scooby can grab the last box of Scooby snacks, deleting the phantom virus and returning the gang to the real world. Using baseball-related clues they found in phrases the phantom virus used during their adventure, they reveal Bill as its creator. Arrested by Wembley, Bill reveals that he was jealous that Eric's video game was chosen for the science fair over his, even though he had been at the school 2 years longer, so he created a phantom virus to scare Eric away and claim the prize money for himself. Fearing that Mystery Inc. would discover that he created the virus, he beamed them into cyberspace and hoped that they would not survive. Afterward, the gang and Eric go to a local restaurant to celebrate and reunite with the cyber gang on Eric's laptop. In a post-credit scene, the gang tells the audience what their favorite parts of the film were. Now let's look at the cast and some of their other roles they've had. Scott Innes as Scooby-Doo and Shaggy Rogers. Other roles for Scott Innes include Scrappy in 2002 Scooby-Doo movie, Fargo in the TV show Megas XLR, and Anubis in Shakespeare's Mummy. Frank Welker as Fred Jones. Other roles for Frank Welker include William in the TV show Velma, Bubble Puppy in the TV show Bubble Guppies, and Odin in Lego Marvel's Avengers video game. Gray Delisle as Daphne Blake. Other roles for Gray Delisle include Amanda in the TV show Invincible, Wonder Woman in the TV show DC Superhero Girls, and Dewdrop in Onward. BJ Ward as Velma Dinkley. Other roles for BJ Ward include Aunt Margaret in the TV show Curious George, Wizzy in the TV show The Zula Patrol, and Tulip in the TV show Courage the Cowardly Dog. Joe Alasky as Officer Wembley. Before his passing in February of 2016, other roles for Joe Alasky include Bob in the TV show Augie and the Cockroaches, Duck Dodgers in the TV show Duck Dodgers, and Lou Pickles in the Rugrats franchise. Bob Bergen as Eric Stauffer. Other roles for Bob Bergen include Mr. Peabody in the TV show Ridley Jones, Wind Up in the Skylanders video game franchise, and Bucky in Emperor's New Groove. Tom Kane as Professor Kaufman. Other roles for Kane include Hans Hessler in the TV show Archer, Yoda in the TV show Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Professor Utonium in the Powerpuff Girls franchise. Mikey Kelly as Bill McLemore. Other roles for Mikey Kelly include Higgins in the TV show Elena of Avalor, Michelangelo in 2007's TMNT, Alistair in the Beautiful Joe video game, Gary Sturgis as the Phantom Virus. Other roles for Gary Sturgis include Yvonne in the TV show Static Shock, Obi in Ally and Obi, and Blue in the TV show Fifth Ward. This was honestly such a fun trip down memory lane. This was always my favorite Scooby-Doo movie as a kid, and a video game based in one of my favorite cartoons. What's not to love about it? Honestly, it still holds up remarkably well for being over 20 years old. As a kid, more often than not, I never picked up on who was under the mask on this show until the end, or in this case, who created this Phantom Virus. But at the end, I picked up on Bill as soon as Phantom Virus said play ball. Officer Wimbley was only in the movie to add a sense of uncertainty on who created the Phantom Virus and to try to misdirect people away from the fact that it was Bill. I really think the cast did great, and the fact that Scott Innes was voicing both Scooby and Shaggy, both the real and virtual versions of them, is honestly kind of mind blowing. And honestly, even with all the editing errors, this is probably still my favorite Scooby-Doo movie ever. This is the most popular Scooby-Doo animated movie of the decade of its release. This was the first Scooby-Doo animated movie to feature Ray Delisle as Daphne Blake due to Mary Kay Bergman's suicide in November of 1999. This movie marks the last time Scooby says his phrase dog, where it's dedicated to William Hanna, who died in March of 2001, 7 months before release. This is the last time Scott Innes does both the voices of both Shaggy and Scooby. Casey Kasem would reassume the role of Shaggy for the next film, and Frank Welker was offered the role of Scooby, therefore Innes was no longer needed. However, Innes would continue to voice characters in video games and commercials until 2009. This is also the last time B.J. Ward voices Velma. Due to the plot of the film, it would seem logical to release a video game tie-in, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. It has been the only Scooby direct-to-video thus far to have a video game. It's the first entry in the direct-to-video series to be animated digitally as opposed to animation cells. In a post-credit scene, usually removed from TV airings, the gang reveals what each liked about the game. Velma, prehistoric, Fred, the Roman Empire, Daphne, the Arctic level, Shaggy, the Cyberland video arcade, and Scooby, the laser. This marks the first time in the franchise where Fred and Daphne kiss. Daphne kisses Fred after he saves her and Velma from a lion during the Gladiator level. They previously came close in Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, but were interrupted by the Hex Skulls. And that's a wrap on my review of Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. This movie blends the classic Scooby-Doo charm with a fun digital twist that keeps things exciting from start to finish. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to like and subscribe to Movies on the Brain for more fun-filled adventures and movie discussion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase and other animated films that take things to the next level. Drop your comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and keep chasing those digital mysteries.